How we going, guys? Liam here from Trackify Studios, and just firstly, I'd like to say thank you so much again for purchasing the Simple Debt Repayment Calculator. Now, this means so much to me, and thank you so much for visiting the store. I hope you obviously continue to use my store for obviously all your debt and budgeting needs, but obviously today is just a tutorial video on how to actually use the Simple Debt Repayment Calculator itself, on how to actually navigate the Excel spreadsheet, and how to actually use the Excel spreadsheet itself so you can utilize and understand what your repayments and minimum repayments could be, and also how much interest you could be charged at the end of the loan term as well. But without further ado, the first tab I'm going to be talking about is the guide tab and how to actually navigate the tab itself. Now guys, starting off with the guide tab, essentially the guide tab is just breaking down how to actually use the Simple Debt Repayment Calculator itself. Now I've provided annotations and obviously descriptive paragraphs on how to actually use it and what each part means and how to actually read the graph itself, and some tips and tricks also on how to pretty much fast track your way through this simple repayment calculator. But essentially, if you don't want to hear me talk and yap on for the next at least 7 to 10 minutes, you can read through this and it pretty much gives you a full idea on how to actually use this and which data you've got to input yourself and which data automatically calculates. But essentially, yes, this is all it's here for. You can refer to it anytime you need it, essentially, if something's not clear. But you can also reach out to me via my Etsy shop or on Instagram, depending on how you want to reach out to me as well. But essentially, another thing before I wanted to get into the itty bitty details, or the details I'm meaning, sorry, is I just want to show you how to actually navigate it. So to navigate it, you got to simply just click on the tab icons below, and that will pretty much navigate you through the tabs. There's no fancy buttons, it's just nice and simple, and that way you can get to each different tab. You just got to use the bottom here in order to do so. But now we're going to actually talk about the actual calculator itself. Now guys, I'm going to show you how to actually use the calculator tab itself. Now, what I want you to focus on first is the debt data information section itself. So it's broken up into two separate tables here, as you can see. Pretty much this table here pretty much automatically calculates everything itself but the original interest, which I'll show you how to use in a few moments. Pretty much the data you'll have to enter manually in the first table is the debt type, the loan amount, the rate, and the number of years you're going to repay the loan over, essentially. So essentially, whatever information you put in here, it will automatically reflect into this table. It'll tell you how much interest you're paying at the end of the loan, how much principal you're paying at the end of the loan, and also when you'll pay off your loan as well will be provided in this table here. But essentially, I want to keep this calculator here for myself, so we're just going to go to calculator 2, exact same tab. But essentially, for example, let's just say we want to track our card debt. You want to enter in the debt you'll want to pretty much go for. For me, it's going to be a car loan, so pretty much delete the automatic pre-filled thing I already put there, and say, for example, I'm looking to borrow at least $50,000 for my car loan. And let's just say my interest rate is going to be 8% on the dot that I'm eligible for. And let's just say I want to pay my car loan over 7 years. There we go. And that automatically says it's going to be at least 84 months. And my minimum repayment is going to be $779.31. So essentially, at the moment, as you can see here, the total principal I'll be paying is obviously $50,000 back, obviously automatically, and over that whole entire loan period of the 7 years on an 8% rate, I'm going to be charged $15,462.10 essentially. And as you may notice, this hasn't changed whatsoever. So pretty much I'm saying my original interest is still $424,718.63. That's because obviously you have to manually update it. So essentially your total interest, you're going to be charged, what we got to do is just put in that figure there as well, $15,462.10 in there, because that's obviously the original interest that we're going to be paying overall, and that brings our interest saved back to zero. So essentially, this will provide full insights. So if we scroll on down, as you can see, we're going to be paying off our debt essentially very, very close in here. As we can see, we're going to pay it off on the 1st of 2033. Our balance will be negative $5.60. That's essentially when we're going to be debt free. But realistically, you could be debt free in December of 2032 essentially. But it's really cool. It provides you that insight, provides you how much interest you're going to be charged and how much interest you can potentially save by making extra payments. Now, obviously, if you're looking to see how much you're going to save over extra payments, pretty much you just input the amount you're going to pay extra towards, obviously, for that car loan. So for example, we're just going to make one payment of $1,000 extra onto that loan. If we go there, as you can see, we've just saved ourselves $728.36 of interest. So pretty much we're saving a bit of money there as well, and also it tells you how much you pay in total back as well. That's something I didn't mention. If I go back, for example, pretty much in total, so you bought a car for $50,000, but at the end of the loan term, you're realistically paying back $65,000, $462.10. So keep that in mind as well. Interest does add up, and it's a very good tool to provide you insights to that as well. But obviously, if you're looking to have an extra payment, consistently, and you don't want to have to enter it in 1,000 times, this is a little trick I can show you. So for example, say we're going to make an extra $300 repayment towards our debt. If we enter in the amount 300, click and hold on the bottom right hand corner of the cell, drag all the way down until you get to essentially where you're going to be debt free. If we just go here, for example, there we go. If we go all the way back up, essentially we're going to pay our debt off pretty much in 2030. So in August 2030, essentially, that's when we're going to be debt free. And in total interest, we're going to be saving at least $5,460.32. So therefore, we're only going to be paying in total $60,000 and $60,001.78 essentially back. So it's always good to, mess around with the figures just to see if you were to pay extra onto your loan or extra towards your car loan, essentially to see how much less interest you're charged and how quicker you can pay it off over, pretty much. So this tool will provide you that insight into paying off debt faster and how much interest and how much you're going to pay back in total if you just stick by the original repayments. So it's a very good tool for that. Obviously, if you're looking to get rid of this data, if you hold and hover over the boxes where you've got the data in, scroll on down, if you just hit delete on the keyboard, that'll get rid of that data, and then everything goes back to normal essentially for you. But that is just essentially a quick rundown, and that's pretty much all that is to it. It's just a simple calculator that provides you interest charge figures, how much you're paying back in total, and how much interest you'll be saving on just from extra payments, pretty much based off of the loan amount you want to borrow, the interest rate, and the loan period as well. So pretty much if you're obviously looking to have more calculators as well, if you're wanting to have more than just 5, if you right hand click on the mouse or on the laptop itself, click on, let's have a look, move or copy. If you click on the one that you want to copy, so you go create me a copy and press OK, they'll create you a copy of that exact tab, copy all the code over, and that way you can have at least multiple calculators going at once, just in case obviously you plan on to do something and you plan on using debt to leverage something, essentially is what I'm trying to say. But pretty much I'm going to keep it nice and clean and only have the 5, so I'm just going to go here and hit delete, go permanently delete sheet. There we go, all sorted there. But thank you so much again, guys, for obviously purchasing the Simple Debt Repayment Calculator. I do appreciate your support and love, and you honestly visiting my shop as well. So if you've got any questions, anything that I didn't clarify that you don't understand, feel free to reach out to me on my Etsy shop, and feel free to reach out to me obviously on the YouTube comment section down below, just in case you need a hand. I'm more than happy to reach out and give you a hand. But thank you so much again for purchasing this tracker and the calculator itself, and I shall see you more on my shop.